Good morning. I will turn my mic on and call this meeting to order at, per my phone, 10:01 in the morning. And thank you, folks, for being here. I know that, well, I guess first of all, Jonathan, was this meeting publicly noticed and within regulations of the Open Meetings Act?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple of quick comments from me about how things will proceed today. I would expect it to be a bit shorter than our meeting last week. We will have public comment of 1 minute for those who have asked to speak, and we'll get right to that. But before we get to that, I just wanted to take a minute and I think speak on behalf of myself and the rest, my fellow board members, and thank the staff of the Bureau of Elections and Attorney General's office for all of their hard work on this, particularly over a holiday weekend. No, it's not fun to have your weekend blown up in that way, but we do sincerely appreciate everything and in putting forward arguments on behalf of all of the positions that were out there. So thank you very much. With that, I think we'll move to public comment. It's my understanding that we have Mr. Gallant who would like to speak remotely. Mr. Gallant, are you available? Can you hear us and can you speak?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Hey, Mr. Wait a minute. Where's the 3 minutes? It's supposed to be 3 minutes. Nobody changed the rules. Nobody voted to change the rule to 1 minute. Why is it 1 minute today?
Was 1 minute last week?
Nobody voted to say 1 minute. Nobody voted to say 1 minute. You did that illegally last time. And now it's from now on 1 minute? Come on.
Clock is rolling, Mr. Gallant.
Okay. So my name is James Gallant. These are my opinions. And please do not accept any more legal advice from Mr. Brader, the Director of Elections. And please verify on the record if he's authorized to practice law in Michigan. Because only a majority vote of this board can do anything unless a majority vote says the chair has discretion to do it. The OMA says that the board has the right to change the time. Then you can't unilaterally, you're doing a disservice to this people of this country. The Constitution says no majority of party on any canvassing board, yet the statute says a quorum is 3. So that means that statute is unconstitutional. And I expect 3 minutes on every agenda item that is under the notice that I got from the Secretary of State. This is ridiculous. Please positively identify the voted on majority voted rules of procedure. You don't even know what the rules are here. You're making it up, Mr. Chair, and you're doing a disservice to humanity here. I mean, look what you did with the reproductive rights for all thing. That's not for all. That's not for all. That's for all women, and it should have been all women. You didn't point that out. That's why you lost in court, because you didn't say this is not for all people, it's for all women, and it didn't say that. It's an untrue statement, and that's going to be hopefully the headline, is that you failed us. And it's reproductive, it's abortion rights, so they can kill the babies. And now I don't have the right to tell a woman that, that they can have an abortion or whether they got to give birth to the baby. So it's not reproductive freedom for all. Please step up to the plate and do your job, Mr. Chair, and positively identify what the rules are here. And instead
Mr.
of getting
Gallant?
Mr. Brader on the fly, off the cuff, and listen to you. And now, can you just...
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gallant, for your comments. Mr. Brader, look, you want to say something?
I can just clarify. So first of all, anyone can send unlimited numbers of words to MDOS canvassers at Michigan.gov with whatever comments they want to add to the record. As we've discussed before, typically, depending on the meeting, there's 3 minutes given for public comment, but the chair has discretion to move that in either direction. And just to clarify, I am not your legal counsel. I am your secretary. The Attorney General's office provides legal advice to you.
Thank you for the clarification. With that, we'll continue moving on with public comment and reiterate just from last week, appreciate all of the conduct of people it was last week, not 2 weeks ago, right? Of keeping things to the issues we're discussing here, not personal and no kind of displays from the crowd. That's very much appreciated, helped us roll through things. And so with that, I'll call up the first individual. I don't think I need to do an on deck. There's not quite as many people. But again, same drill of come up, make sure your microphone is on. There's a little button right at the base of it. That will turn it on. The red light will come on. State your name, spell it, and then I'll administer a quick oath, and we'll get you started on your 1 minute of public comment. So first up, Sierra Strange. Sierra. You don't? Okay. Well, you don't have to. Thank you very much. Boy, this will move real quickly if everybody follows that lead. We have Carol Levin. Dr. Carol Levin. Right up front there. Sure, just make sure you hit the button, little button on the mic down there. So there's
Right at the base.
At the base.
Small round button.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Sure, and state your name and spell it, please, and then I will institute or swear you in real quickly, and then we can get you going on your comments.
Okay, just a second. Okay, Carol Levin, Levin,
And Carol.
Carol.
Okay, thank you. And Carol, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you much. Go ahead.
I want to express my profound appreciation to the Michigan Supreme Court for ruling to place Proposal 3 on the ballot, so Michigan voters can decide the fate of abortion and reproductive health for girls and women in our state. I am here to urge you to honor the Supreme Court's rule by certifying the ballot signatures and placing the proposal on the ballot. I became a physician and then a psychiatrist to help people develop their potential and live more meaningful lives. That was possible for me in part because I was able to have a safe surgical abortion even before Roe versus Wade made abortion legal for all women, not just for educated women of privilege like myself. When I was in college several years before, women were still dying from botched backroom abortions. Roe allowed all of us to be in charge of our reproductive choices and plans to have children when we were able to care for them as children deserve to be cared for, and as I did many years later. For nearly 50 years, the protections of Roe v. Wade allowed physicians to give all women the same opportunity that I had. When there was a federal right to abortion, I was free to help my patients explore their childbearing choices in private without the threat of government prosecution looming, of privilege like myself.
It's distracting, isn't it?
Under an abortion ban, my fellow physicians won't be able to provide abortion care for women, even if they are the victims of rape or incest. They won't be able to offer women unable to conceive a wanted child fertility services. I worry about these women and the young girls who are victims of rape or incest and who will be forced to carry a child before their bodies are ready.
Carol, I hate to can you start wrapping it up, please?
Yes.
Trying to give people a little leeway, but remember, 1 minute.
Thank you. The risk of pregnancy can skyrocket in a moment, yet my colleagues may be forced to delay treatment until they can obtain court permission to act to save a woman's life. Already in our state, chaos ensued and patients suffered when the head of Spectrum Health in Grand Rapids ordered her physicians to stop providing abortion services before she then rescinded the order. Patients will only suffer, some will die from an ectopic pregnancy, when urgent care will be denied and doctors will be helpful. That is why it is crucial that Proposal 3 be on the ballot and that Michigans have the opportunity to vote on it. That is why physicians and medical professionals of all
Thank you, Carol. I'm going to
backgrounds-
ask you to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you very much. We're way beyond the 1 minute. I'm trying to be kind to everybody.
I
but
appreciate that, Mr. Don.
Thank you.
Yes, so we need to put it on the ballot. Thank you.
Yes, we're aware. Thank you. Next, we have Darnell Obamwani. Okay. How close was I on your last name? Oh, sweet. Thanks. Up next, Nomi Joyrick.
Hi.
Hello. I'm going to have you state your name and spell it for our court report, and then I'll give you a quick oath.
Nomi, N-O-M-I, Joyrich, Joyrich.
All right, Nomi, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. Take it away.
Hi, I am the Michigan Director for Jews for a Secular Democracy and an organizer for the Michigan UU Social Justice Network. In addition to collecting over 1,000 signatures, I organized over 100 volunteer collectors, people of faith who demand the separation of church and state. In collaboration with my synagogue, I managed a pop-up signing location where people from all faiths came in droves and waited in line to sign the petition. All of these activities resulted in thousands of signatures. Not one single signer expressed any confusion. All of these people understood and signed the petition based on their own convictions. We want to thank the Michigan Supreme Court for ordering this board to certify the reproductive freedom for all and the promote the vote petitions. Thank you.
Thank you, Nomi. Up next, Anjana Shah.
Hi, my name is Angana Shah. I've had my name all my life, so don't worry about that. Spelled A-N-G-A-N-A, and the last name is Shah, S-H-A-H. I'm also used to spelling it.
Okay. And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Yesterday, Michigan Supreme Court defended democracy, and democracy has certainly taken a beating in recent years. They stated, for the record, that the two of you who voted to keep the reproductive freedom for all off the ballot were wrong. Not a difference of opinion that it was wrong. Judge McCormick said in her concurrence, 753,759 Michiganders signed this proposal, more than has ever been signed for any proposal in Michigan's history. The challengers have not produced a single signer who claims to have been confused by the limited spacing sections in the full text portion of the proposal. So indeed, after that decision, the decision you took last week, we put out a call for voters who did understand what they signed. In the span of 48 hours, we got 1,295 signed declarations. They were attached to a brief we submitted. Judge Zara complained about the 1,500-page packet, making it hard to decide quickly, and he's welcome. Sorry, anyway, Michigan voters are now gonna have the final say in November, not the four of you, and that is as it should be. Last thing I'll say is, go blue.
That's the worst thing you've said so far. Up next, Elizabeth Buckner. Hello, I'm sure you've heard the drill. Go ahead.
Heard it. I wish I just said it was Liz. Elizabeth, E-L-I-Z-A-B-E-T-H, Buckner, B-U-C-K-N-E-R.
Okay, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right.
I do. Thank you. Judge McCormick wrote, if you keep this petition going on the ballot, keep this petition from going on the ballot, you would disenfranchise millions of Michiganders, not because you believe the thousands of Michiganders who signed the proposal were confused by it, but because you think you have identified a technicality that allows you to do so. With my friend Beata Lamparski, we gathered 5,410 signatures because we believe in reproductive justice for all. And we all need to be heard. I spoke to thousands of voters who understood the petition, they agreed with it, and they were excited to sign it. If there were questions, I took the time to answer them People waited patiently until there was an available clipboard. They called friends and strangers over to sign the petition, and many took the petitions home with them to get signatures themselves because they wanted their voices to be heard. We are asking the politicians not to get involved and not take our voices away. We know what is right for us. I met signers who thought they would never get an abortion themselves, but they believed it was an individual decision. There were others that thought no one would ever get an abortion. No one should ever get an abortion for any reason, but believed the people of Michigan should decide the law, not the politicians. There were two things that the voters had in common. First was the need to make their own medical decisions without government interference. And the second was that they were all committed to voting in November of this year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Then the last card I have for public comment is Beata Lemparski.
All right. Brownie points.
It helped that she said your name beforehand.
My name is Beata Lamparski, spelled Beata Lamparski.
Okay. And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just a volunteer signature collector for the Reproductive Freedom for All petition. My good friend Liz Buckner and we belong to the same church and are both passionate about advocating for women's rights, especially reproductive rights. In the 4 months that we were out collecting, we proudly got over 5,400 signatures from voters in 38 out of Michigan's 82 counties. We didn't just hoard Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne. We were out there. We collected when it was so cold that our fingers barely worked, and when it was so hot that we could barely stand. The message we got from the voters was that this was just the first step. This step was towards a goal to allow all Michiganders to make the decision through voting about reproductive care, including abortion. I was thrilled when we delivered over 753,000 valid signatures to you in July. We did our job. Now I'm asking you to do your job and certify the petition at issue for the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That concludes the public comment portion of the agenda. Up next, number 2 would be the consideration of the meeting minutes for approval from August 31.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes from our meeting held on August 31st, 2022.
Second.
We have motion and support. Any discussion on that? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Now, number 3, any other business properly submitted to the board. And Mr. Brader, would you mind kind of walking us through the meaning of that and why we're here and what we're going to do? So, thank you.
Sure. So there were challenges before the Michigan Supreme Court regarding actually all 3 of the ballot proposals. So there was a challenge to the wording that the board approved for the proposal 2021, the transparency and term limits proposal. And then there was also challenges to the board's deadlocking and not certifying the promote the vote and reproductive freedom proposals. So we don't have to do anything regarding the first one, the transparency and term limits, because in that case, the court rejected the challenge to the wording. So the board's all done with that one. But the court has ordered the board to certify to the ballot both the promote the vote 2022 and the reproductive freedom for all petitions with the wording that the board has already approved at its prior meeting. So that's the purpose, that's what the board will be taking up during other business. When we circulated the agenda, at that point, we didn't know what the Supreme Court was going to do, so we didn't have any specific items, but it's proper to take those up now during other business.
All right. Thank you. Jeanette?
If it is so through the chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Please.
Pursuant to the September 8th, 2022 order of the Michigan Supreme Court and promote the vote 2022. Do you want to or no? Or you have people who would speak?
I was just, I
Right,
forgot.
never mind, I did not make this motion, I rescind.
I do have two folks who wish to speak. Steve and Olivia, come on up if you wish to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. For the record, Steve Liedel of Dykema, appearing on behalf of Reproductive Freedom for All. Steve with a V and the last name Liedel.
Olivia Flower, also from Dykema, Olivia Flower. Also here for Reproductive Freedom for All.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, several thank yous are in order, and then we'd like to make a brief statement for the record and also answer any questions the board may have. Sure. First, thank you to the board for your service and for being here at the meeting today on an otherwise beautiful fall morning. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to cancel my trip to Ann Arbor for another board meeting. It's always better to be close to Spartan Stadium than to that other stadium.
I was looking out for you.
South of here on a football weekend. Thank you to the Secretary of State and her team at the Bureau of Elections who have been very busy this year and the last week in particular in responding to all the activity and diligently preparing for a fair and impartial election administration, and to your counsel, the Attorney General and her team, Heather and others, for their extensive work in responding to the court and including our complaint. It's much appreciated. So we're here today on behalf of Reproductive Freedom for All, now also known as Yes on Proposal 3. In Michigan, all political power is inherent in the people. The people are sovereign here. Under our Republican form of government, they have established, government officials represent them and are obligated to faithfully perform limited duties on their behalf. Under our Constitution, the people have reserved to themselves and not delegated to any governmental body, officer, or court the self-executing right to propose constitutional amendments. Our Supreme Court, over 100 years ago, the one court of justice established by the people, has said, quote, "While the right to propose amendments by initiative must be done according to constitutional requirements, we have observed that it may be said generally that the right can be interfered with neither by the legislature, the courts, nor the officers charged with any duty in the premises," unquote. So earlier this year, more than 911,000 voters, a record number, and nearly a quarter of all votes cast for the office of governor in our last election, signed the Reproductive Freedom for All petition proposing a constitutional amendment. They read it, they understood it, they signed their name to it, they made no mistakes or errors, and they don't need government officials telling them otherwise. So on behalf of Reproductive Freedom for All, they submitted petitions on their behalf from more than 750,000 Michiganders from every county in our state. Each one of them had put their pen to petition paper to amend our Constitution and declare that they want to restore the protections of Roe versus Wade in Michigan. Their overwhelming message was and is that a proposed constitutional amendment is needed to ensure that Michigan women have the freedom to make highly personal decisions about abortion themselves instead of having politicians decide for them. It remains undisputed that there are sufficient signatures on the petition to present the amendment they propose to the people at the November 8th general election. The full text of the amendment they propose appears in 8-point type on the petition that they signed in full compliance with the Michigan election law. They perform their duties as citizens consistent with the law. And as my colleague, Ms. Flower, reminded the board last week, you have a clear legal duty to certify their petition. Today as a board, you have one job. Certify the Reproductive Freedom for All petition as sufficient for placement on the November 8th general election ballot. This will enable the people to do their job, decide whether our Constitution will further embrace liberty and permit the exercise of their reproductive freedom without meddling or interference from politicians. Thank you.
Steve and Olivia? Olivia, did you want anything to add? No?
Nope, you
Okay.
covered it all.
Thank you. Jeanette, I know you had started to promote the vote. If we've withdrawn that, we could do that item and then
Do we have anyone who wishes to speak?
we could do
I would say let's have
them both.
Let's have them both done.
All right, then Chris, come on up.
Good morning. Chris Trebilcock with the law firm of Clark Hill here on behalf of Promote the Vote. Do you need me to spell my last name? You got it? All right, good. Well, I've never been, I don't know what this says about our relationship, Chair Daunt, but I think I was more excited to see you this morning than my wife.
You might want to seek counseling.
In this case, as painful as it was, the process worked. And for that, we are very thankful. When we were here a week ago, Chair Daunt, Mr. Hauskamp, you raised a number of questions and asked for clarity. And the Supreme Court, by a bipartisan and clear majority of the Supreme Court, has now provided that clarity to you. And I think your duties and fulfillment of your oath is clear. And I am faithful that you both respect the rule of law and will adhere to the Supreme Court's decision and complete the process that we all started. And so many people who care about voting rights and the fundamental right to vote stepped up over the last course of this campaign to get this issue on the ballot. Everybody who's played a part in this process has done their role well, from the Bureau staff to the Attorney General's office, who, like us attorneys, spent way too many hours and late nights getting the briefing together for having these important issues considered. So we thank you for your service. We understand and appreciate that the process worked in this case, and we request that you please certify this proposal for the ballot as directed by the Michigan Supreme Court. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Now, just very briefly, just say, I thank you for the words. I agree in terms of the process. We have this process for a reason. It's adversarial. It's meant to make sure we have agreement from people on very important issues. And when there is disagreement, we have deadlock. And each of us have been on opposite sides of certify versus deny for various reasons over the years. And I think that's right and that's okay. And that's what we are here for, is we've gotten that clarity. And so I can speak for myself. There was never any doubt in my mind that once the court spoke, what we were going to do, and that's follow what they have requested of us. Richard, I would imagine that's the same for you.
The same thing applies with me. I do want you to understand, I appreciate your comments, Chris. Those mean a lot. And so did the decision of the court. The questions last week, I know the press has mentioned the word partisan an awful lot, and I get that. But I want everybody here to understand there was nothing partisan at all in the conversation we had last week. There was nothing partisan at all in the questions that were asked or the clarifications. And I think you guys understand that. You have a lot more experience than I do. I still read your stuff, Chris. I do. I have melatonin and I have Chris's briefs, and but it's it really truly wasn't partisan, and I have to tell you that the process did work, but we would have raised that same process no matter what proposal was in front of us. I hope that applies across the board to any proposal that comes here. So.
Thank you. Member Bradshaw, go for it.
I will try this again. I'd like to make a motion. Pursuant to the September 8th, 2022 order of the Michigan Supreme Court and promote the vote 2022 versus Board of State Canvassers et al., directing the board to certify as sufficient the initiative petition filed by Promote the Vote 2022, I move that the board certify that the petition contains at least the minimum number of valid signatures required under Article 2, Section 9 of the 1963 Constitution of the State of Michigan.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have support. Is there any discussion on this motion?
I have Article 9 on my motion. I have Article 10, then I will redo my motion. Pause for a second.
Let's not fumble at the goal.
It's not me.
That would be our fault. That would be our fault.
Can I rescind my motion right now?
You may.
Thank you. I rescind my motion. So I make sure that the minutes are correct.
0 for 2, Jeanette.
I know. That's it. I'm done. I don't have that one. Those are just the minutes of the meeting and the agenda. Okay.
Chair Bradshaw, would you like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion.
Member Bradshaw?
Did you call me Chair Bradshaw? Because that was in 2020. All right. Third time's a charm. I'm sure that if you have to do this again, you'll let me know. But as you see, this is where we're at. Okay, pursuant to the September 8th, 2022 order of the Michigan Supreme Court and promote the vote 2022 versus Board of State Canvassers et al., directing the board to certify as sufficient the initiative petition filed by Promote the Vote 2022, I move that the board certify that the petition contains at least the minimum number of valid signatures required under Article 12, Section 2 of the 1963 Constitution of the State of Michigan.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and we have support. Looking at the attorneys for anything else. Do we have any discussion on the motion?
My only discussion is I'm sorry it took me the 3 times. Sorry.
No worries. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, I believe we have another motion. May you be more successful than our fellow member.
Pursuant to the September 8th, 2022 order of the Michigan Supreme Court in Reproductive Freedom for All et al. Versus Board of State Canvassers et al., directing the board to certify as sufficient the initiative petition filed by Reproductive Freedom for All, I move that the board certify that the petition contains at least the minimum number of valid signatures required under Article 12, Section 2 of the 1963 Constitution of the State of Michigan.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and support. Do we have discussion on that motion? We do not. All right, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries 4-0. Director Brader, I believe that does conclude our business for today. Well, anything to add?
We have nothing else for you today.
Okay. Any of our members have any additional questions?
I'm just going to ask this question, which is, do we have any other lawsuits right now?
Not anything urgent. I believe that's pending against the board. Do we have anything coming up on?
So we can take care of that at our next meeting.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, with that, this meeting is adjourned at 10:34.
Yeah, don't look at that clock.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, 3 times, it's cool. I'm just glad that people are.
Yeah, we always got plenty of time.